Hello everyone and welcome back to another album review, and in this video I'm going to review Sunshine Kitty by Tove Lo. This is the brand new album of Swedish pop singer Tove Lo, a name in the scene that I've never been a huge fan of. Personally, I think that some of her previous works, especially the album Lady Wood, was a horrible album for pop standards. It had some of the blandest and most generic things I've heard in pop recently, and not only that, but usually the lyrical content might come off as quite disgusting and not that interesting or being of a really bad taste. And even though I might be a fan of some of those pop singers that bring a sort of a nasty sex appeal to them, having some more explicit lyrics, with the case of Tove Lo, I think her lyrics come off as pretty stupid and really not that interesting. Though musically speaking, I think that the album Blue Lips had some moments in the dance pop sphere that were actually quite decent. It's a quite average dance pop album, but at least is average. And honestly, I love the track Disco Tits. I love the sex appeal of the music on this thing, even though the lyrics are really bad. With that being said, with the direction she took with Blue Lips, I was expecting something better in the future, because it was definitely a progression compared to Ladywood, but yeah, I was just hoping that a new album from Tove Lo would just bring something better, but actually that's not the case. Instead, what we have over here with Sunshine Kitty is an album that goes more into the contemporary R&B side of things, and it's a genre that not only do I think that it doesn't fit with the whole sound of Tove Lo, her vocals most of the time are bad or just plain generic. They don't present something new or something different, and not only that, most of the instrumentals over here are really bad. It's to the sense where you've heard this kind of instrumentals before. There's nothing special to them, having some elements of trap to it and even some Latin pop vibes. Yeah, this album has lots of moments that are just plain bland, generic, and just sound really awful. Like, just with the beginning of this album, with the track Glad He's Gone, I knew that we were going to a different direction that I was not going to be a fan of. Still though, there are at least two tracks that managed to grab my attention, and those were Jax with Jax Jones on production, which is a track that goes more into the dance pop side of things, and the instrumental on this thing, it has some techno house elements to it. I think it's a solid instrumental, and it's definitely the one song that manages to stand out into a really generic and forgettable album. And then there was also the track Come Undone, which I honestly loved the hook on this one. I think that it had a pretty nice hook that it just managed to stick with me. It was quite memorable, but that's pretty much anything that I can say it's positive about the album. Like I said, the instrumentals are just really bad. The vocals don't fit. In lots of occasions they might just get filled with a lot of reverb and be just like a big no for me. And there was the track Equally Lost, which was one of the tracks that I was a bit anticipating due to the feature of Doja Cat. I was at least expecting that the Doja Cat feature was going to bring something, that it was going to be something good. But here we have the shortest track of the album if you count out the intro, and it has one of the worst choruses out of the entire album. And not only that, the Doja Cat feature is really bad and it's extremely short. It feels quite unnecessary, and it's a really short track that really leads up to absolutely nothing. And you know, even some of the other features, they're just quite forgettable, like the Alma feature of the track Bad as the Boys, and also Are You Gonna Tell Her featuring MC Zack. And then there's the track Really Don't Like You featuring Kylie Minogue. Other than that, I could say that at the second half there are some moments that are a bit more passable, like some of the final songs, Shifted, Mistaken and Anywhere You Go. They're not really great tracks, but they're a bit easier to digest. It's mostly to the first half of this album where it gives you a really bad impression, with tracks like Glad He's Gone, But As The Boys, Sweettalk, My Heart and Stay Over. I just got some of the most basic and most forgettable tracks I've heard all year. And yeah, this album is quite boring, and other than these two moments towards the half point of the album, there's not pretty much anything else that really intrigued me about this album. This whole R&B direction that Tove Lo took with this album really doesn't fit here. At least some of the previous albums, even with Lady Wood, I would just appreciate her for going to this dancey and synth pop side. But this one pretty much sounds like a copy of everything that is trending in the mainstream nowadays. And the execution leads to an extremely disappointing album from an artist that I didn't even have that many expectations in the first place. I'm going to give this album a 3 out of 10. What's your opinion on this album? Like it, dislike it, why, and what do you want me to review next time? Let me know down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more content like this. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye.